Hey everyone, welcome to the KE Report, a company update from Kuya Silver. We're going to be focusing on the company's Bethania Silver project in Peru and the continued ramp up of production. I am chatting with David Stein, President and CEO of Kuya Silver. Company is traded on the CSE under the symbol KUYA, on the OTCQB under the symbol KUYAF, and the Frankfurt Exchange 6MR1. Last time David and I chatted was the tail end of October, where we discussed the first concentrate sale from the Bethania Mine and the plans to ramp up to that 350 tons per day. David, welcome back to the show. Let's just first recap for my audience the developments at Bethania in 2024 with that transition into production, please.
Sure. Thanks, Corey. 2024 was a huge year for us. We started off the year starting basically underground reconditioning so that, make sure it's safe for our workers to go underground. We completed that, early in the year, and then, had our first production of mineralized material in May. We continued to develop over our summer here in North America, and we did our first sale of concentrate in October. We're, shipping our material to a toll mill in the area, and that's, allowed us to essentially save 15 to 20 million in capex right now that we can defer until later. We, continued to develop the mine in Q4. We announced in one of our updates later in the year, that after that first sale, we took a bit of time to do some other stuff, and then we got back into producing concentrate in December. So we're producing right now. We think we're very close to breaking even, at least operationally, in Peru. And, we still have quite a bit of work to do on the ramp up. So that just means the fact that we're breaking even now means that, we should be making lots of money once we get the production up.
So talk to us about the ramp up then. How is this progressing? What have you achieved so far, and what still needs to be done then?
Yeah, so I think we're stoping mainly on one vein at the moment. And over, the next several months, we need to just open up more working faces. We've got the 3 different vein systems, we call them. These are bigger structures that dominated by one vein, but then have other smaller veins branching off of them. So we want to be, producing off, quite a number of these, depending on the size of the stope. And, that's something that we'll be progressively doing month over month over the next several months. And I think the best way to think about our production is that our initial production that we're ramping up to right now is going to be like a phase 1, 350 tons per day. But we're already looking at ways to, go beyond that, either by increasing underground production to something like, maybe 500 plus. And then we also announced that LOI with Novamera, which potentially we could be producing some tonnage from surface as well, which could add to the production down the road. Those are both, different ways to push production beyond 350. So, I think it's 350 would be great. We can, we think we can make a lot of money at that rate. But, it's also important to show the market that this is going to be, a much bigger mine. And I think that's really key to unlocking the value here. And I mean, the other thing that we would like to do, that we would expect to do as things continue to ramp up, is to start to do more exploration. And we've got a lot of low-hanging fruit on the exploration side, where we can drill at depth at Bethania. We can drill along strike, where the veins extend to the hilltop zone. And there's a lot of low-risk exploration that should generate quite a lot, some nice resources for us and justify further expansion of the mine. So that's all really important. And I think, that's really our focus on the big picture. Our operations team are doing a fantastic job, kind of running the day-to-day and, the ramp up of the mine. But, we want to demonstrate to the market that Bethania is going to be, one of the biggest silver mines in Latin America. And, I think we're just getting started on that.
So you made the comment there, David, that you're hoping this month that you'll be at least break even at this mine. Now that you have been more or less in production, I guess, for the last few months, can you talk to us about the economics? What sort of production costs are we seeing? What sort of silver grades are you seeing? Any insights here would be appreciated.
Yeah, the cost right now, it's because when you're early in the ramp up, you're doing a lot of start and stop, I guess, production. It's not steady day after day. Some days we do a lot more development, some days we do no development. So it really depends what's going on, and that will start to even out, obviously, as we get towards our initial production targets. But based on what we're seeing sort of on a per ton and how the mine's running right now, we expect that, the production costs will be within range of our guidance, which, in here would be around $15 per ounce, all in sustaining cost. Again, once we're fully ramped up to 350 tons per day. So that's good to see. And then on the grade side, yeah, it's been, again, meeting our expectations for the most part. Maybe even, I would say, some positive surprises in some of the stopes that we've been mining so far. We've been getting some very high grades. So yeah, we're very happy. It's still very early days, and I think, it's hard to say if what we're seeing right now is representative of what, is what we're going to see over the rest of the year, over the next few years. That's sort of the nature of high grade vein deposits. But again, things are going very well on the grade front for us right now.
Okay, so as you ramp up to that 350 tons per day, and let's say you start making some more money, because right now, if you are at break even, look, everyone wants you to make some more money. What does the time frame look like to actually be cash flow positive? And then what do you do with those funds once you are cash flow positive?
Yeah, well, so you start off sort of break even at the mine, and then, that's kind of where we are today. And then as you make more money, you become, corporate break even. I mean, our corporate burn rate's not very high, so that's not a big difference, but it's another couple of months probably. And then, and then little by little, we'll start making more and more money until we get to 350, or 350 tons per day, $15 cost. Anyone listening to this call can do the math. We'd be making, 20, 22 million ish a year in that EBITDA. As we start, building more and more cash, exploration is a high priority. We have some, mine development that is going to help us, in the future as a high priority as well. So we'll probably be doing both, and we should have enough cash flow to be able to do everything that we need to do on the development side, and also have a nice budget for exploration as well.
All right, so you mentioned this agreement or letter of intent as it stands right now with Novamera. I've actually chatted with that company over the past probably 5+ years as they have been developing this narrow vein mining technology. Talk to us about what this potential partnership could mean for Kuya and when you could actually start testing out Novamera's technology here of that narrow vein mining.
Yeah, honestly, it's a design and a technology that's really brilliant in its simplicity, which is that you do RC drilling, where basically RC drilling is used in exploration where you don't need to preserve the core. And it's a lot cheaper, a lot quicker. And basically, you essentially chop up the rock as you drill down. And they use this, it's the same idea, wider diameter drill. Okay, you sort of size the diameter, you get to the size of the vein that you're targeting. And all the, what we would call the cuttings that come up is essentially like similar to blasted rock. So, it becomes mineralized material that we can blend in with our underground ore. That's the idea, that's the concept. And again, it's brilliantly simple, provided that the deposit fits certain criteria. In our case, we have quite a few of these narrow veins that do outcrop at surface. So that means you can put your drill on there and you're getting, payable rock right away. That's good. And Bethania is especially good for that, because our veins, come to surface for the most part. As you say, you can target, because you can size the diameter of your drill to whatever thickness of the veins you're targeting, and that reduces the dilution. So in our case, we have a number of these veins that are probably too close to surface to mine underground, but they're also maybe too widely spaced to have an open pit. And so in our case, Novamera is kind of this type of what I would call production drilling is the perfect solution for that. And I think in our case, this is for tons that we probably wouldn't have gotten anyway. So it's essentially like a bonus.
So, David, then in terms of timing, getting this technology either on the project or testing for the project, any other stepping stones that need to happen to allow you to do this, what can you lay out in terms of that pathway?
Yeah, look, I think the main there's obviously some engineering and also finance concerns. In the press release that we mentioned there, they're arranging the financing to get this started. So that's obviously important for us. But more importantly, this is a new concept in Peru, at least. So we're working on the permitting now. I think on the early end, we might be able to have it in 6 to 9 months, let's say for the second half of the year. But it could take longer just because it's a novel concept we're testing. But I think if it works at Bethania, there's a lot of other mines it will work for in Peru as well. So there's good reason to be very optimistic on that we can get that done relatively quickly. And we've got a great team working on it. We've had a lot of success permitting things in Peru, all different things, our mill, all of our exploration work we've done in the past, etc. So we've got the right team on it.
Well, I'm very curious to see how this all plays out. As I said, I've had the Novamera team on the show, Dustin on the show a number of times to talk about this technology. Now let's see it operate in the field whenever that might be. Look, we've talked a lot about production and the ramp up, but you did mention that eventually you do want to get back to exploration and some drilling on the asset. Let's talk about potential resource growth. What are the plans here? When could this start? What is the potential around growing this resource at Bethania?
Well, I mean, the potential is huge because we've barely done any exploration. I mean, we've been very production focused company from day one since we've been public. We've only drilled 5,000 meters. If you compare that to, some of our peers out there, they do 5,000 meters a month. So we've had really good productivity with the drilling that we have done, and we've got the type of geology where drilling is relatively low risk. We can drill at depth and along strike these vein swarms, these vein systems, and with a high likelihood of success in terms of growing resources. So I think when we look at as our cash flow builds up, we'd be looking to start doing more aggressive exploration, i.e., drilling, later this year. Our first target and our lowest risk target is going to be the depth extension of the current mine area because we have drill holes from our last program and our deeper drill holes pretty much all hit good mineralization, good widths, good grades. So all indications are that this extends much further at depth. And then along strike, we've got all those veins in the hilltop zone, which appear to be essentially just the eastern extension of the Bethania vein system. So that would be a second target for us. And we haven't even left the Bethania property. I think the potential to significantly grow our resources, just by drilling Bethania along strike and at depth is huge. We could be talking, many multiples of our current resource. And then when we go beyond the Bethania mine itself, we've got the Tito prospect, we've got Carmelitas prospect, and both of those have the footprint on surface to be equal in size to Bethania. So, so if Bethania is 40, 50, 60 million ounces, which, again, that's just my personal view of the potential, given the potential at depth and along strike and, how much we've drilled to date, we could have two more of those on the property just with what limited exploration we've done at surface. There could be more, and there probably will be more of these satellite targets, but the two that we've got right now are again, they're very big targets. They're similar in scale to Bethania.
All right, David, that brings us up to speed then on what's going on at Bethania. Again, it wasn't that long ago that we were talking about the first concentrate being sold. And now it sounds like it's all about ramping up production here, getting to cash flow positive and being able to reinvest back in the project and then even further back into exploration. Next time I have you on the show, we will touch on that Silver Kings project, but I did want to focus this simply on this Bethania project. So again, David Stein, President and CEO of Kuya Silver. Please, everyone, send me any further questions you have for David. David, thanks for your time today. I appreciate the update.
Thanks, my pleasure.